Concrete repair in Omaha at everlowconcrete.com. Good morning.
Good morning.
Oh, does this mic work?
It's been making some weird noises.
Merry Christmas and whatnot. Ha. Shout out Spice Adams.
Hello? Okay.
I can
Here
hear
we
you
go.
now.
Here we go. Oh.
Whoa.
I have to move over there for the show. We'll see.
They worked for him the entire time. You
What are
just
you
sat
doing
down near
to
the
mic?
Kiss of Death.
I'm trying to make it work.
Hey, stop touching the microphone,
I'm
right?
not.
You touch the microphone all the time, and we can hear you
I
touching the
pressed the
microphone.
button to turn it on, and it didn't turn on. So I took action.
God. Can you be
Hello,
professional?
everybody. How was your weekend?
How was your weekend? You had a great weekend.
What did I do?
Darling baby boy went 4 for 4 yesterday.
Yeah, 4 meaningless hits.
Hud was freaking out because he was keeping his hands inside the ball. It was incredible.
He has many instances of contact that have left his bat at over 100 miles per hour.
Ooh.
Many.
Ooh.
He leads the league in percentages.
I can't wait for him to be the Joey Gallo of this generation.
No.
You know, Joey Gallo, if you look at his percentages,
Gary.
his exit velo, some of the best.
Come get your boy.
His expecting batting average is actually supposed to be 47 points higher.
Let's be honest.
You know this.
So
This
some of
is
those balls
ridiculous.
he was hitting in St. Louis in the first 2 days in Chicago,
Uh-huh.
you knew they were eventually going to drop.
That's right.
And they did
If you
yesterday.
look at the analytics, Caglione should be hitting 347 actually.
I don't need to show you analytics. I need to show you this giant man. He's 6'3". He's like 250 pounds. He's a chiseled rock of a man. And
Look, you make fun of me. You
he'll
make
be
fun of my
around
city
for
to
a
me.
long time.
To get under my nerves, I just make fun of the Royals.
You're
going
gonna
to
have to deal with Jack Caglio.
I'm not going to have to. You guys aren't going to make the World Series, and that's where my team is going to be. So I don't really have to deal with your team.
The Cubs.
Yeah.
They're going to be in the World Series.
Oh, yeah.
This is the first I'm hearing about this. I don't
know if you heard, but there's this guy. His name's Pete Crow Armstrong.
MVP?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ever heard of him?
Have you heard of Bobby Witt Jr.?
Not an
Yeah,
MVP.
but there's a guy named Aaron Judge
Did you-
that's a little bit in his way.
Did you
Yeah.
see those diving catches?
Hey, he did have,
The one yesterday was crazy.
how about to do 2 during this road trip?
Yeah.
2
Say-
Superman performances.
I mean, the one yesterday saved the game.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I did.
Saved a lot of bets, too.
Beautiful. He's beautiful. We have our other beautiful
He's
boy.
a big, beautiful shortstop.
the big, beautiful boy.
So, Yankee week.
Yeah,
What do you
that's
think
right.
it'll be the reception for old Jazz at the K?
Oh, it'll be fun.
It'll be good.
I think they have transferred all of their booing from Robinson Cano over to Jazz Chisholm.
I miss those days.
People forget
That was fun.
Robinson Cano did
People
not pick
forget.
Billy Butler to get in the home run derby in 2012 or 13.
People forget.
Whatever
People do
that
forget.
All-Star game was, and he never heard the end of it throughout the remainder of his career. And then he retired. He left. He's playing somewhere else right now, or he's 40 years old. And so they were like, let's boo somebody else. Jazz Chisholm is that man. Did you see Jazz's thing last night?
Yes.
Where he was mic'd up, and then he fielded a ground ball
It was
and
a
made an
tough play.
errant throw.
It was a tough
It
play.
was a tough play.
Tough play. Would have been sick if you made it.
He's like, oh, damn.
That's one of those damned if you do, damned if you don't, because if he makes it, you're like, oh my God, what an incredible moment. ESPN, they're genius with putting the microphones on players.
Yeah.
And then now you have people waxing poetic.
I don't have a problem with that.
I have zero
No,
problem.
Don't get me
Yeah.
wrong. I'm
Oh,
very
yeah.
pro
you know
miking
there
guys.
are you
Yeah.
know there are people on Twitter who are like, this is why you should have put
Well,
microphones. And,
You know what? It's the players that agree to it.
Yeah.
And a lot of players look at it as a,
They get paid.
yeah.
They get
Oh,
paid.
really?
Yeah,
I did not know they get
They
paid
get
for
paid
that.
to do it. There's like a sum of money that they pull from to pay the players.
There,
to
there,
get
there
mic'd
are
up.
players who benefit greatly from doing it. Like Teoscar Hernandez had an incredible interview when he was playing. That was earlier in the year with the Dodgers, where it made me, because I've never heard him speak before. Like it made me be like, oh my God, Teoscar Hernandez is a pretty cool dude. I'm a fan of his.
He's a star. He's a superstar.
He's a superstar. She's a runner. She's a track star.
Yeah. You went to the lovely big beautiful football camp.
I did, and then you made fun of me when I gave you some texts about what I
He
saw.
texted me. He's like, "This guy Trey Taylor, I love him. He's 15 years old, but I love him." And
What did you respond with?
And I said, "He's 12."
Yeah. I was there representing the station, being the scout for the station. Sat down in the crowd with a lot of people who do it for a living.
You were hobnobbing. You love hobnobbing.
I was hobnobbing with everybody.
You were hobnobbing.
I was hobnobbing with Brunts. I was hobnobbing with Sipple.
That's okay.
hobnobbing with Callahan.
Just tell people the truth. That's why we go to these
and
things to hobnob.
but I was also scouting. I was also watching.
Sure, of course.
I was taking pictures. I was the reporter. Did you see my picture of Dylan Raiola?
I didn't see any of your stuff. No, I didn't see any of it.
Well, you don't.
Let's go back.
Do you not follow me?
I do. I just didn't see it. Timing was bad. Whatever. I don't know.
And I gave you a great hey, he looks good and he's got a lot of touch and whatever. And you were just like,
no. You said here. I'll go back to exactly what you said.
Well, I was going to go in depth before you made fun of me, and you clearly dismissed the fact that you didn't want to hear my expert analysis.
You said, let's go find it.
You have so many text messages because you're so popular.
You said simply Friday night, 8:29 p.m.
What is that, late?
No, it's just I'm not caring about high school football. Anyway, Trey Taylor is the real deal, is what you said.
Yeah.
So there wasn't a whole lot of nuance to it, and
Sure.
I just said he's 12.
And what did I respond?
You
with?
said you responded at after midnight.
Yeah.
And said doesn't throw like it. Dude was legit.
Because I was a little annoyed.
Mhm.
I was a little that was a very sassafras response to you. Because he doesn't throw like it.
That's good.
He throws like a grown man.
He was throwing them. He was throwing that thing.
Throw it to the same tight end over and over and over again. The guy just kept catching the ball.
They offered him in basketball.
Yeah, can you imagine?
We talked to Hoiberg.
We got to get that guy.
We
Yeah.
the
Kind
Jays
of like
aren't
Donovan
getting him.
McNabb back in the day, as long as Danny Nee doesn't get in the way.
Right. So that's his bit, right? He wants to be.
That's his bit.
Well, he wants to be offered in both basketball. He wants to play both basketball.
It's his
and football.
profession, if you will.
Yeah.
Not a bit.
It's his deal.
I think that would be so.
He
Donovan
could-
McNabb tried it. Charlie McBride tells a story about they thought they had Donovan McNabb, and then he went and met Danny Nee, and they
Oh,
were like,
no.
"I don't know if you can play basketball here."
Was
And then he was, ironically, his son is camping at Nebraska.
nice.
But so the Donovan McNabb thing was over. Think about it. You could have gone from Tommy Frazier to Donovan McNabb.
That would have been
Donovan
that would've
McNabb
been
is up there for
better than what it ended up as.
one of the most.
Well, you probably
liked-
wouldn't have gotten Frost. I don't know if Frost would have transferred back because Donovan's redshirt year was 94.
Could have saved us a lot of trouble.
Would,
20
Oh
years
my
later.
God.
so hold on
My
here.
God.
Hold on. Back it up.
Connor Happer's
Back it
back
up.
in. Connor Happer's back
Back
in
it
the
up.
bookshelves in the bookshelves.
Maybe it would have been
screaming.
different if Scott Frost would have come to Nebraska as a football coach that just happened to be from Wood River but never played at Nebraska. He was just a Stanford guy.
It would have been different. You're right. But
we
I'm
would have
saying
had no past history.
he probably wouldn't have taken this job. He probably would end up at Florida that year, and then they'd be screwed.
That's true. He would have looked at Bill Moose and Matt Davison like, who are you
What?
guys?
Cheesesteaks.
You just
talking
imagine Connor Happer back in the bookshelves of Danny Nee's office when he tells Donovan McNabb he can't play basketball. Don't say it, Danny. Don't say it. Yes, he can. Yes, he can. You don't know what you're doing.
So you probably would have only gotten either Newcomb or Crouch, not both.
Yeah.
Because then they would have taken over in 98, 99.
Interesting.
What could have been.
It's very interesting.
But I think it's, like Erstad, among others, have played both football and baseball. I don't know how you'd play. I mean, it
Well-
wore out Brant Bakes and Noah Vedral and Wilson Thomas and
What were
Matt
the
Davison.
what were the
and
conversations
Keith
like
Newbert.
with Bubba Starling? Was he going to play baseball here?
Yes.
Or was he just going to be football or baseball?
No, you know what? He was going to play baseball just like Monty Harrison.
Yeah.
Kyrie
Kyrie Cooper.
Didn't Kyrie Cooper at least play half a year?
Kyrie Cooper played a little baseball.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I would think that basketball, football would be a little bit tough because of your calendar. Like when would you, January, you'd
God.
start basketball? So you'd play January, February, March, and then transition into spring ball. You'd have to balance playing both sports during the summer.
You're talking about basketball
yeah,
and football.
to do the football, basketball. Football, baseball, you can pull off.
Oh, yeah.
Football, track and field, you could definitely pull off. But I don't know about basketball. But he is the number one tight end, and he's a top 60 basketball recruit?
Something like that.
Let's go.
He's a freak.
He's not a 5-star yet on 24/7. He will be. He is. It literally got to the point where they would run a route or whatever, and then Trey would honestly just look at him and throw him the ball, and
That's
he would just
awesome.
go up and get it every time.
That's awesome.
It was ridiculous.
I'm not into the whole 7-on-7 thing. I don't know what's going on in the 7-on. It seems like a much bigger thing than I really thought it was.
Man, they got into almost a full-on fight at the end of the game.
Whoa.
The two teams.
Really?
Toa and Raw were like, there was a kid who swung at another kid. So there was this number.
That wasn't reported.
There was
they were
tell us
fighting.
more.
No.
Did the cops have to come on the field? Did coaches come on the
No,
field?
there was not a police.
Did Cam
presence.
Newton come on the field?
So there was this guy here. I have to find the Miami roster. He's number one. He's number one. That was his number. He was a corner, okay, and he was taking on this other wide receiver on Nico Emalava's father's team, Big Dave. He was the coach of Toa, and this kid would not stop talking trash, would not stop yelling, would not stop, was in the guy's face the entire time. And then at the end of the game, when Raw won, emotions boiled over, and there was just a lot of pushing and shoving and stuff like that. It was great. I loved it.
So was that like the 7-on-7 national championship?
No, it was just like an event.
Okay.
It was just that was the final.
Do they have a playoffs?
I don't.
Do we need to create a contract for the college football playoff of 7-on-7 or the high school football 7-on-7?
I don't believe so.
All right.
How many people were there?
Not that many.
Really?
It was at
Not 5,000?
Not even close. At one point, you could probably count how many people were there.
I thought they were going to get...
you would get up to 7.
I thought they get about 5,000. They didn't?
No, they didn't get 5,000. At one now, when it was at the end, when it was the final, around 7:15, 7:30, there was a good amount of people there. But I got there at 5:45, and there wasn't that many people present. But I don't think it was 5,000. It didn't look like 5,000.
Okay.
It was a good event though. It was actually fun. It was competitive. The kids cared. They gave them chains afterwards. Matt Rule showing a bunch of 17-year-olds and 16-year-olds the new chains they were going to wear was quite the spectacle.
I saw Matt Rule and his chains.
Yeah.
I'll
tell you this right now.
Throwback gear.
Let me tell you. Yeah, he stole my look, man. Crazy.
Oh, what?
I was wearing the same jumper earlier in the day, and then he just showed up.
Okay, so I saw the new Adidas chain, the Adidas Nebraska chain.
Genius, by the way, to give these kids chains.
And
that is how you know that he knows he's up with the times. But Matt Rule up with the times.
But then I saw a picture when he was getting ready to go out or something like that. He was getting ready to step out, as the kids say.
Oh,
he was just wearing a black shirt, but he had a chain. He had a.
Oh wow!
Here, I'll show you.
There was some stepping out on Friday for sure.
He was stepping out. Good.
There was some stepping out.
Good.
I'm waiting for the state 7-on-7 championship.
Me too.
Yep.
Me
That's
too.
coming up next week.
Really?
What if we get updates during the day?
I wonder. That's next week.
Should I become
during the College World Series?
Should I become 7-on-7 boy?
I think it's a great avenue.
I think that's a good bit.
Yeah.
Go all to the 7-on-7 places.
You should get into that culture.
Oh, I would do terrible in that culture. I would do awful.
You could hang out with Cam Newton.
Cam
Newton and his big hats.
Cam Newton and just his big body.
It's a big hat.
Cam Newton is a large human being.
He's a large human being. I did not see him, unfortunately. Didn't get there early enough.
It's a big hat. It's funny. I got a text that says white guys are wearing chains this summer. Is this true?
Yeah. No, it's been happening for a while. It's really been also too, there's ties are out, but chains are in. Kids
chains instead of ties.
Yeah. Kids are no, seriously, look it up. They'll do
look it up.
Dylan Raiola with the whole turtleneck and chain thing that he was wearing at the Crown, or just wears out to Nebraska basketball games. That's people go to prom looking like that.
No kidding.
Yeah, that's it.
I don't think
I'm telling you.
An event I'm going to Wednesday will have somebody wearing at the podium
a chain instead of a tie.
You should wear a chain.
No. You mean the turnover chain, that stuff?
No,
like a bolo tie.
It's a real a Jesus piece,
simple,
elegant, kind of what Dom Toretto. Dom Toretto wears in Fast and Furious, like that. We're family. He wears that chain.
We're Germans. The Sharps are Germans. We don't. That's not in our background.
You can wear some Leverkusen.
Yeah.
The Germans
don't
wear
chains.
I don't think the Germans are into wearing chains.
Okay.
We don't wear chains. We don't wear gold. We're silver people.
I definitely when I was a kid, I thought it was kind of cool. And then I was like, you know what? Actually, this isn't very cool anymore. And
I
I tried
tried
getting into the hype beast
beast
life
life
of
wearing a chain to like fit in amongst my peers who were wearing chains, and it just did not look good on me. Did not look good. I'm not a chain guy.
I would be more willing to wear a puka shell necklace than a chain.
Oh my god, a
I
shark
went through
tooth.
that phase. I had blonde hair, wore a puka
Oh
shell
my
necklace.
god. Yeah, no, I
Oh.
never went through that. I had a shark tooth necklace for a hot minute. It was like from Florida, and I wore it at school for like 2 weeks, and then I lost it.
there's puka shells, and then in baseball, so the baseball they had the puka shells, and then they were doing the all the fighting necklaces. Remember the fighting necklaces? It was supposed to make you like less sleepy.
What happened to
stuff like
what
that.
happened to those balance bands?
Yeah,
Remember?
that same thing. The fighting necklaces.
Yeah.
So then, now what is it? What's the popular accessory? And
Oh, beads. There's a lot of beads. You know, it's got friendship bracelets and whatnot, like all that stuff.
Cool.
Beads are in.
Cool beads are in.
Beads and chains
All right.
and tight shirts.
A lot of dudes. Yeah, a lot of baseball that you see at the
Lot.
College World Series. They're not only all the elbow and the shin guards
Yeah.
and stuff like that, but like the shirts that are like
Yeah.
halfway buttoned.
Yeah.
Those will be good. Those will be exciting. I'm excited to see what Arkansas does when their 300-foot pop flies don't go out of the yard.
Oh,
I'm
boy.
excited.
I'm
excited.
Creighton guy whining about Arkansas home runs.
I'm
with,
just
you know
saying.
what? If you make good contact on a 95-mile-an-hour fastball and you hit it well,
He
it
didn't
may
hit it
go.
very well.
It may go somewhere.
Logan Maxwell popped one up to left field. It was a grand slam. And that was the game yesterday. He popped it up. It's a pop-up. If I'm a pitcher, I'm like, got him. Sweet. This is awesome. And then it was a grand slam.
Playing a
the ex-
ballpark that's built for you.
Yeah.
You don't get home field advantage.
What is
Maybe-
so I was watching the Auburn game. What the hell is up with their triangle wall? That
Yeah.
They have
that-
a unique. That's a unique ballpark.
I
It
was
actually looks
weird.
really cool.
It's really kind of
yeah.
small.
it's a cool looking park, but the
Except
guy
when
hits
it's
a
being played at
long
1
fly
a.m. in the
ball.
morning.
I
And
will say this. I love a college baseball stadium that's just in the shadow of the football stadium.
Yes.
That's the LSU has it, Auburn has it, but like the football stadium has to be visible in some
Texas
way.
A&M's. is the
Texas
same way.
A&M's right there.
I was
Or
Nebraska's
you-
got it across the street.
Or you have the look of you could be going to the plate in Louisville, and what are you looking at?
Pop-
You're looking at the backstretch of Churchill Downs.
oh, that's awesome.
Well, it used to be in Papa John's Stadium, but it's not so much
It's
anymore.
right behind it.
I saw a Coastal Carolina guy hit an absolute nuke, and I thought it was a homer, and then it bounced off this triangle-looking wall, and the Auburn center fielder played the bounce perfectly. Like, it was so impressive that they have to do like, hey, we're going to throw this ball off this triangle wall, and you got to learn how to catch it off.
It does. It looks like a really cool park. What they call it, Plainsman Park.
I've seen
I've seen it. I went down there. I have
because
seen
of
it.
you guys. I've seen more and more SEC ballparks in my life over the last 2 weeks than ever before, and they're all incredible, and they're all got this weird little twist and unique thing,
Mhm.
which is like, damn, I
Some
didn't
of
know
them
baseball
it's-
could be that creative.
Some of them are like Michigan State. Does Michigan State still have the?
They still have the hill.
sloped.
Yeah, they still have the random
They just don't have
hill.
any fans that go to the games.
No,
or anybody that cares
but
about
just
it.
when you get in the warning track doesn't stay flat; it goes up.
Don't
At
they
a-
also have? They don't have like a true running track. It's all grass all the way to the wall.
I think
Isn't that a Michigan State? Didn't it? Because Nebraska a few years ago, I think, had issues with it.
I was watching. I mean, another thing that the Louisville one. I mean, Louisville's got a nice little park there,
Yeah.
but the turf, and then the uniforms on both those teams.
Oh,
I mean, what in the world happened?
Louisville when they wear the
the stripe,
softball uniforms.
yes, those are
they
horrendous.
look so cheap. They're
Well-
not. They look faded.
On the second day, they both wore white.
yeah,
Both teams wore white uniforms.
that was very, very weird. Now, what do you think about
Adidas is a problem.
what do you
We
think
have
about
to get Adidas out of here.
Miami's jerseys?
Well, they used to be better.
I like them a lot.
They
I think
did
they're
used to be
great.
better back in the day when they were winning championships.
What is it? Oh, the orange jersey with the green M on it.
Yeah,
So sick.
they were wearing the like
Now it
faded green yesterday.
Now it looks like they're wearing a City Connect jersey all the time.
Well, that's every sport now. Like I'm so sick and tired of these teams in the NBA finals wearing alternate jerseys. Okay. Just wear your regular jerseys. We're in the regular, like.
So you don't like the Pacers who have worn yellow for
That's cool.
every game for I think the last 800
Those
days?
are their normal jerseys,
Yeah.
though.
Those are normal.
So
I'm
they don't,
those are-
I don't
I have zero
remember
problem.
seeing the Pacers wear white uniforms in a long time.
Weren't they wearing white yesterday?
No,
No,
they were
they've
yellow
worn yellow
throughout the playoffs.
Really?
Like
I'm cool with that.
after the conference semifinals, they were just like, we're wearing yellow forever.
Pascal Siakam.
Pascal
guy.
Siakam. By the way, we got a text here. Gary's talking puka shell necklaces and still does YouTube to MP3 converter for music. This man is eternally stuck in 2010. Thoughts? 2010,
No, see, that
great
was-
year. I
that was-
graduated high school that year.
Let's go. I'm stuck probably in 2000 because that was when I was doing the puka shell necklace.
Yeah, puka shell.
Shout out Shane.
Well,
shout out Shane Comey.
You were doing the puka shell necklace in the early 2000s?
Oh, that's
So
what it was.
2000. Yeah,
Yeah, that's what
I was
it
in
was.
high school.
Wow.
Yeah, everyone
this
did it.
was like a...
and I was very
childhood
proud of
thing.
it. It looked really good, and I had blonde hair.
Do we have a picture?
There
Gotta
is
be.
a picture of me interviewing Eric Crouch at Notre Dame.
You can see it
your
on the
LinkedIn
YouTube video
photo.
of the game too.
You still have that, your LinkedIn photo. You like see the hair coming out a little bit. I see where the blonde hair was from. It was very impressive
Well, that was
stuff.
living in Florida during the spring and summer. I would be blonde because
It
I'd
just-
be in the sun.
It just turned
Yeah.
that color.
Yeah,
God.
no, it did.
That's crazy. That
My hair turns a little red.
hey, did you notice too in the Chapel Hill Super Regional? Everyone looked like they were dying of heat exhaustion in that.
I did not know.
All of the. I mean, these guys are from Arizona, right? They're
Sure.
It's hot all the time in Arizona. Those guys look
But
like
it's-
they were dead.
But Connor, it's a
I don't know
dry
how they
heat
want.
in
That's what they
Arizona.
said in the broadcast
It's a dry
500 times.
heat. It's a different
Or-
type of heat.
They were they
It
all
gets
had.
hot.
when
It gets
it-
hot in
when
the,
it's
in the
sticky.
triangle.
When it gets sticky like that,
Oh yeah, and that field too is kind of like parked down underneath, you know,
Sure.
so there's no
Have you
no
been to that field?
airflow. Yeah,
really?
Yeah.
Nice.
It is.
Very-
It looks really, really nice.
It looks
Gosh.
very nice on TV.
Yeah.
That whole campus just seems
it
gorgeous.
is. It really is. It's very cool.
Because I was interested in going there until I found out what my GPA had to be in order to
Hmm.
get in.
In North Carolina, I thought they don't do school.
No, it was
Isn't that their whole thing?
pretty high.
They just don't go to class.
Pretty high.
Oh,
Yeah.
gotcha.
When I was looking, it was pretty high. But I did the virtual tours and whatnot,
Mhm.
and I was like, wow.
Oh, that's right, because it was COVID.
Yep. Did all my tours virtually, baby.
Dan says, "I love that UCLA made it. If Big Ten teams can consistently make it to the College World Series, it may force the conference to actually give a crap
really
about
a Big
baseball."
Ten team?
Because I would argue no.
Because I think football, like those teams are turning into Big Ten teams because in a way they have to build their roster. They have to change how they build their roster a certain way. They don't have to completely uphaul it, but they do have to adjust how they build because they're playing different teams, different styles of climate, whatever. With baseball, they can build. There's no adjusting to the Big Ten. They just happen to play in that conference. They're
They'll-
going to get the same players and do the same thing that when they were in the Pac-12.
Maybe. Or they'll realize that they don't have to try as hard to win the league and then not try very
Plus,
hard.
we get to watch another week of Rock Chalasa,
Rock.
who probably should be up for Player of the Year, but he's not. And also, they have one of the most iconic college baseball hats.
Oh, it's
Where-
a great hat.
People go, "Why do you have a B, but you're UCLA?"
Yeah.
They've always had that hat.
It's fantastic.
Their uniform combo, we could have some really good uniform combos. We could have some good uniform games,
I could probably do without the all blues that they do,
but in person, they look pretty good.
yeah,
They wore them at the Big Ten tournament for a game.
Arkansas's
They
got
pop.
good jerseys. LSU's classic
LSU
purple.
or Arkansas doesn't deviate from the home and gray very often.
No, not very much. No.
UCLA good jerseys. Oregon State, I wouldn't know. Oregon State have good jerseys.
People have taken a liking to Oregon State around here because their colors. Yeah, they like the orange,
Yeah.
the orange, the black.
Duke versus Murray State.
It's gonna be
That-
interesting.
That is the one thing though. When you get to those smaller teams, they don't really put as much thought into the jerseys as maybe the Power 5 teams do. They're pretty cookie cutter sometimes. Like when Oral Roberts came here, and their jerseys were just clearly like custom ink. You know, we gotta.
You get what you get.
We gotta.
Sometimes
wear
you're
these
Russell
suckers.
Athletic. You know, sometimes your jerseys are made by Russell Athletic. And they're not made by anybody else.
See, that's why you could add North Carolina here. Those are sweet looking baseball
I
uniforms.
know.
Then you could add Belichick and Roy Williams,
Ah,
Hubert Davis.
so
Oh my
Belichick
God.
was at the baseball game.
Yeah, but did you see where he was?
he was kind of hidden.
He was like in the photo well.
Yeah. He was separate a little bit from everybody.
I
He didn't
think-
have any. He didn't have anybody near him. If for anybody was wondering,
No.
Can you imagine if we interviewed Bill Belichick at the Omaha Baseball Village?
it would be great.
I think I would be peeing my pants.
Peeing your pants.
That would be. He would be.
That's
He'd
sweat.
probably say, "Why
Sweat.
is that guy peeing his pants
Dude,
over here?"
he would be a starstruck guy for
Make
me. If I
diaper.
saw Bill Belichick,
What the?
I do need a diaper.
You would pee your pants if you interviewed Bill Belichick.
There are very few people I feel like I would get starstruck for if I saw them. and
Brian
talked to them.
Urlacher.
Brian Urlacher's number one.
Sean Dunstan.
CM Punk is number
Mark Grace.
No, not Mark Grace. I did meet Ryan Sandberg. That was really cool. CM Punk for sure would be number 2.
Dexter Fowler.
Dexter
Oh,
Fowler
yeah.
would be cool if I met. I don't think I'd get starstruck though.
Addison Russell.
No,
Oh,
God,
no.
God, no. I would
He
not.
who shall not be spoken of.
And then I think third would be like probably Bill Belichick, or like some of these big. Like if I saw Tom Brady, be like, oh my God, I would freeze.
So back before I got here, but they all tell stories at Rosenblatt. The location was a lot better to do interviews with people just walking by
Mhm.
because you had one way basically into the stadium,
Sure.
and you had to pass in front of the 1620 the zone table.
Of course.
Like
Oh wow.
the shows.
So you would just pull them.
So you just pull them.
Oh, that'd be great.
It's awesome.
Lin-Manuel Miranda would be up there too.
Oh,
People
he
I
could
would
probably
get.
come to the College World Series.
That'd be sick. That'd be cool.
I don't think he's appearing in Michael Jackson's play that is at the Orpheum,
Probably not.
but he was on the Tonys
The
last night.
Tonys.
Were the Tonys
Yeah,
last
the
night?
Hamilton original cast reunited
How
last
did
night.
I miss that?
Yeah, they were better than the basketball game.
I was half watching the basketball.
We had a
game.
lot of options for
I was-
TV last night,
I
and
was
then they all got
very-
bad.
Very much. I was
They
very
did.
much half. Whatting the basketball game last
Well,
night.
you turn that off when it's like, okay, this isn't happening tonight. There's no miraculous comeback. And you're
No.
like, oh, cool. What's
There's-
LSU got going on?
Or
They're
nothing.
kind of
Turn
they're
it
kind of blowing it a little bit. Then they
Then-
hit a bunch of home runs, and then pretty much the night was over after that.
I
The
should have watched the Tonys. I would have loved to watch
the Oregon
I loved
State
that.
Florida State game was on. That was
That
bad.
Was
Then it kind of became interesting.
Yeah.
I
At the
mean,
end.
you
The
probably gave
Royals-
up after the first 3 innings. You're like, this game is over.
Hey, that last pitch probably not a strike.
No, I
Probably
think the
not.
guy behind the plate was ready to go home.
The Royals game got interesting very quickly at the end.
It was in the afternoon. Yeah. Yep.
That got a little scary. I don't know who the hell the first guy was before Estevez came out to save the day.
Who did pitch?
Some random dude that I've never seen before.
Yeah, they got a bunch
And
of
he
guys
walked
that
the
they're
bases.
It wasn't Gavin Hoffman, was it? Or Andrew Hoffman?
Andrew
I have
Hoffman. No, it was the guy that they just brought, Edwards.
Oh,
well,
Richards. It was
Travis
Richards.
Richards. Yeah.
He was terrible. No-
Just wait till
no
Rich
good.
Hill gets there.
Hey,
Take him out, baby.
Rich Hill has had 2 really good starts.
I know. He started
At
in
the
a,
age of 45, when Cole Reagans breaks down one more time,
Yeah.
and Rich Hill gets called
Shoot,
to the
Cubs
majors.
need Rich
It's older
Hill.
than Jimmy Gobble.
he wore a Runza uniform
Wow.
on Saturday. How'd that go? Were you there?
No.
Yeah.
I was trying to figure out what was better giveaway on Runs a Night, the Hawaiian shirts they gave away this year or the hat last year.
I love the big hat. I have the big hat still. The Hawaiian shirt's pretty cool though.
I got to do Hurl the Pearl.
Well,
Haven't done it yet.
get in there.
it's not like it used to be.
So,
I
is it
heard-
true that you guys would drive the car on the would it be
On
on,
the track,
on
yeah.
the track,
Mhm.
and then you would throw it in there?
That's how it. Yeah.
God, that's awesome.
Mhm.
That's like,
Hence the name.
dude, you will never find a better game than chuck a duck at a hockey game.
Chuck a puck.
Chuck a puck.
Chuck it.
Well, you can do chuck a duck too.
you could if you had a
We-
duck
we
to
know,
throw.
we've
So
done-
you're supposed to bring ducks,
We've done
like the rubber ducks?
No, you buy a duck and you chuck a duck.
like rubber ducks.
Yeah, rubber ducks.
Okay, I was just making sure. 'cause
No,
I
you
don't
can
want
chuck.
anybody to-
I've chucked ducks before.
Chuck it.
I've never won. I've never
I've
won.
never gone to a hockey game where they chucked a duck, but chuck a puck is
chuck a puck. So at the Chicago Steel USHL games, they did chuck a puck. At these tournaments, like these travel tournament games, they would do chuck a duck because they would just go to Target and buy all these ducks
Yeah.
and then write numbers on them, and then that's how like they paid to sponsor the tourney.
How will you? John Calipari will probably show up at College World Series.
I'd be fine.
What's your
I'll be
pee your
okay.
pants level on him?
Like a 4.
All right.
I'd be like, I will tell a lot of people for a while. Like I've interviewed.
He
with
was trying.
Calipari.
He was trying to get Kentucky to the College World Series for a long time. He's like, I can't wait. He would do interviews.
Oh yeah.
He's like, we have to get to the College World Series, and now
I
he
think
shows up
that
at Arkansas,
my
right?
my white whale for the potential people that we could end up interviewing for the College World Series would probably
Sam
be
Pittman.
Joe Burrow.
Joe Burrow.
That would be really cool if Joe Burrow showed up.
I don't think
I
that's
don't think Joe's
prob-
going to.
I'm
maybe
just
he
might.
guys. I'm just saying it's a white whale. I'm not saying he's going to come. I'm not saying we're going to do it. It's just I'm looking. If I was looking at like, all right, who are the potential, celebrities or coaches who could show up?
Let's see. Who have I?
Reggie Miller for UCLA would be
I
cool.
hung out with one of the guys from Duck Dynasty, Willie.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
nice.
So we interviewed him.
You
Our
never
guy
know.
Eric Church is not coming back.
Sad.
Oh,
Morgan Wallen will not be here.
both of the teams he's affiliated with
Yes.
did not make it. Eliminated in the Super Regionals.
I think this is a realistic one. I would love to talk to Pat Kelsey of Louisville
He
basketball.
might be here because he was at the game yesterday.
Yeah,
But
That would be
will
really
he come
cool.
to a town that ruined his season?
yeah. You know the question. It's why did you let Ryan Kalkbrenner just go ham on you guys?
Yes. Yeah.
Why did you do that?
Why did you decide not to guard him?
And in the old days, it would be uncomfortable because that was the way to find out about the future Creighton basketball players because they were holding cords for ESPN's camera people,
Uh-huh.
and they would work the College World Series.
Not so much anymore.
Now you got people like Justin Patton that are parking cars.
They're waving a bit.
I think that would be
There's
uncomfortable
Jackson
for him.
McAndrew on Cumming Street. He's
I
like,
think D. Wayne interviewing Pat Kelsey would be like, you know what? Can you tell the crowd what happened in March? But he was there yesterday. Think about Calipari, though. You got to wear the shirt, Cal. Last night he was at the Thunder game supporting his Kentucky guys that he has made millions and millions and millions for.
Jeez.
You got to wear the shirt. You can't just always be in the suit. You got to wear the shirt. He didn't wear the shirt last night.
I mean, but
They all wear the shirt in Oklahoma City.
But it's John Calipari. John,
I don't care.
He's not a fan.
You got to wear the shirt.
He's not
the
a
shirt
fan.
is there on the seat.
He's
You got to
not
wear
there
the shirt.
to be a fan. He's there to represent himself and represent his players.
Throw the shirt on.
You gotta wear
over
the shirt.
over the suit.
You got to
not
wear
have
the
to
shirt.
Wear the shirt.
SGA would love it if you were wearing his shirt.
I don't like the whole you have to wear the shirt deal. I want to wear what I want to wear at a playoff
That's
game.
why you go shirtless to those games because they
Look.
give you a shirt. Then you don't have to worry about when you're wearing a collared shirt,
They
long
s-
sleeve, and you have to put it over and you look.
Luckily, I don't think my
Ridiculous.
basketball team's making the playoffs anytime soon for me to indulge in wearing said
Not
shirt.
with that attitude.
They suck. They're awful.
Yeah,
Arturos
they're not giving away any
Karnisovas
free
went all in
shirts.
on the most mid stars I've ever seen in my life. He goes, "Yeah, we're gonna really cash in with all these C+, B+ stars here. Zach LaVine, he definitely could be the best player in a championship team."
Well,
Dummy.
you always have the 90s.
I don't.
You could talk about him though.
I do. I talk
You
about
got
the
a
90s
statue?
way too much.
A
Got a
documentary.
statue?
The
Oh, I
90s,
love
the
the
90s
statue.
for an
10
era
part
that I
30
have
for
never
30?
lived in. The 90s really dictates my life.
Remember how the statue used to be outside and now it's inside?
Don't get me started. Don't get me started with that whole atrium.
I love the atrium. It's
Just
beautiful.
the big old, that's the biggest old cash grab you've ever seen in your
It's
entire
nice
life.
in there.
Oh, we connected a team store. We're
Wow.
going to upcharge you, about 130% of what everything used to cost.
It's nice. It's nice. I like it.
Now it's become a tourist attraction too. It used to just be the people would be taking like the picture when they're just going to the game. And now it's like all these random people are always there taking pictures of the Jordan statue. They
People
just
are going
made-
to take
wouldn't
their
you?
picture with you next week.
No, they're not.
Yes, they will.
No one's going to take a
People will
picture.
want to take a picture with
Yes,
you.
they will. Take a
For
picture with
what?
Matt.
Yeah.
Don't take a picture.
You could win a prize.
There's a lot better things you can do than win a take. What do you? No, don't
We'll
say
give away
lies.
prizes.
We have prizes.
Yep.
Yeah.
We get shirts.
For
Full
what?
prizes.
If you get a picture with Matt and you send it to us, we'll give you a shirt.
Yeah.
How's that?
That's a good deal.
Fine.
Good
There you
idea,
go.
Connor. Yeah.
What are we giving away this year?
Uh,
Lifetime of or a year's worth of ice cream?
I would think so.
I have
That
no
we're doing
idea.
again?
I would think that's back. We're about to find out. They're setting up down there right now.
I
As
gotta
we speak.
start-
They're probably listening to
I
us.
got to start reading my
Hello.
Athlon College Sports magazine in preparation. Whoa, by the way, to answer your question, has Matt seen Tommy Boy? Matt has seen Tommy Boy.
Good.
So we can do that reenactment
Fine.
on
Major
June
motion picture.
17th.
All right. Well, you guys have a great day.
You have a wonderful show.
I will. It's a beautiful, beautiful day. It's a beautiful week.
Yeah, I hope you get through it.
Thank you. I appreciate your support. That's the crossover powered by Everlevel Concrete Repair in Omaha at everlevelconcrete.com. It's Monday. We'll start things off next. right, here we are on a Monday, the Connor Happer Show, 1620 The Zone.
Your fault.
At 1620thezone.com. Connor Happer, Jimmy Chavez with you. Josh, we'll see if Josh makes an appearance during this show. He is down helping get set up at the Omaha Baseball Village as we speak. And who knows how long.
So I'll be with you for 4 hours.
You
know what? I like doing radio with you, so it's okay.
Jimmy, I'm glad you're here, and I love your attitude.
Last time I was doing this, I was not feeling well. Today, I feel fantastic.
You were having a very miserable time last time you were sitting in for any portion of the Connor Happer Show. So we thank you for being here today, here on a Monday of College World Series week. Ladies and gentlemen, we've finally arrived. I believe the high is in the low to mid 70s today.
That's it.
Which means tomorrow it begins. We're in the mid to upper 80s, and there I pull up my weather app. Don't yell at me for using my iPhone weather app, but I use my iPhone weather app, and it tells me that there's
bad?
the weather people, they kind of get after you. They're like, don't trust that. They look at the weather dot. I don't know who's right, who's wrong, who knows. But all I know is I see there's a lot of upper 80s into the 90s, and there's like some lightning bolts and some clouds in there.
Higher humidity.
Perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect.
We are so back.
Fantastic. Happens like this every year.
Happy summer, everybody.
Yep.
Pools will be full.
Welcome to it. Today on the show, Mike Schaefer will join fresh off of a much needed lawn mow at 11:30 today. So we'll see how that went for him. He's enjoying the last of the good weather for now, and he sent me a picture of because he's been busy over the last week or so with all the recruiting stuff. So we'll talk to him about that. But also, I want to know how his lawn mow went, and I believe he's filling in on the afternoon show today as well. So we'll be talking to Mike Schaefer a lot. Sam McKewon is going to join at 1, fresh off of a hole-in-one. I didn't know Sam played golf. And all of a sudden he's got a tweet that's like, I had a hole-in-one at Crofton with the big elevation hole up there. I'm like, whoa, what in the world? So we'll ask him about that in the Huskers coming up at 1:00. And we'll help introduce you all to Creighton Baseball coach Mark Kingston coming up at 12:30 today. We'll talk about some of the things that he took away from his first season in the dugout with Creighton, and now that the program shifts in his direction, what are some of the things that we can expect for Creighton baseball coming up next season? So Coach Kingston will join us at 12:30 today. That is the lineup, powered by the referees at John Higgins Weather Guard. We want to hear from you all today, 402-951-1620 on the Prairie Flower Casino Zone hotline. You can call or text that number. Tweet at Happer Show at Connor Happer on the JTech Construction Zone Twitter feed. Email Connor or what? Jimmy or Jay Chavez?
Oh, are we doing emails?
Yeah.
Emails. Oh, yeah. It's Jimmy at 1620 The Zone.
Jimmy at 1620thezone.com. Or you could still email Josh.
Yeah.
Josh O.
Always good too.
1620thezone.com and the Equitable Bank Zone inbox. We say good morning to the YouTube streamers today. What's going on, everybody? Good to see you. Good to hear from you. And hope you enjoyed all the sports this weekend as we lead into the sports this weekend. Black Cat writes in, is Josh helping Mayor Jean clean out her desk?
That crossed my mind too.
So I did see the exit interview on the World Herald with Mayor Jean. I know Josh will have some commentary on that if and when he gets back. There's plenty of time for it. We'll
that's a 2-segment.
But
there.
no, he's at the baseball village getting things set up for a week of fun next week at the College World Series, and who knows what may happen. Today, elsewhere on the show, we'll talk about those tickets getting punched, 7 of them. There is a game 3 in the Super Regional today, Murray State and Duke for the final spot in the Omaha 8. We'll look back at the weekend for Nebraska football, where we'll try and twist it forward a little bit. It seemed like a pretty good weekend. I mean, Nebraska had a lot of recruits on campus, and a lot of prospective recruits on campus, opportunity to show off Lincoln, an opportunity to show off their facilities, which everyone loved. But now you have to capitalize. Now, as we'll talk about later, all of the stabs that have come and gone over the last 20 plus years at Nebraska have kind of had this. It's like, oh, I like how things are going. I like the direction of things, but you need proof of performance. You need to actually win football games. So we'll dive into that a little bit deeper coming up today on the show. We will talk about the events that could precipitate a baseball war over the weekend. That's right. Tennis, Mr. Alcaraz. Yeah, we'll spend a couple minutes on the tennis. The NBA Finals get bullied into putting the Larry O'Brien Trophy graphics on the court for Game 2 of the Finals. Rev sharing, it's real and it's spectacular. It's here. Hats and things of that nature, as Josh put on the sheet for today as well. So that is the setup for today's show. We are rocking and rolling. We appreciate if you guys got in touch with the show. Keep us company here. We have plenty to come, as we'll be back after this on the Connor Happer Show on a Monday on 1620 The Zone. All right, Jimmy's trying to get. Well, Gary likes the Today Show, so we like to change it up a little bit. Maybe not as much Today Show on this show, but I'm curious to see where Jimmy ends up. Oh, looks like we're zoning in on MLB Network. Wow, look at that. You and I, one and the same, Jimmy. I get this. I get my hands.
It's summary.
I get my hands the remote when I get in here. And I'm like, let's go to 227 or whatever it is, and that's MLB Network. You get
There we go.
live looks inside the ballpark, Cam. This is the greatest part about the Pittsburgh Pirates right now. They have a lovely ballpark. Other than that, they don't have really much. They do have Paul Skeens, but they keep screwing that up.
They don't help him.
No, he had another fantastic start over the weekend where he
Pitch for the Royals with that.
did not get a win. Yeah, he could have.
We won't help you either.
Exactly. Many aces have gone by. Actually, not many aces in the Royals case, but yeah, you get the point. All right, we have 7 of our Omaha 8. We have a game 3 in a super regional today. Murray State and Duke for the final spot in the College World Series.
Massive fan bases.
This is taking on quite the different look. Last year, of course, we had the ACC invite, and it was just 2 conferences full of big dogs just battling it out during the College World Series. As of 9:00 last night, this is before LSU clinched, there was 5 teams from 5 different conferences, which is kind of awesome in a way. Also, Carolina, winners of 23 in a row, doing things in a little bit of a different manner than the last time they were here. A little pitching, a little manufacturing some runs, but a good bat in the middle of their lineup. That's Coastal Carolina of the Sun Belt Conference, by the way. Just so we're clear where everybody's from at this point. Arizona, after losing 18-2 in game 1 of their Super Regional in Chapel Hill, finds a way, and it looked like everyone was dying of heat exhaustion, like I said. Arizona, for the record, is in the Big 12 Conference. Bet you didn't know that one. Louisville, with just 40 wins, going 15-15 in the ACC, they find their way into the Omaha 8. Arkansas, the best roster left, probably by a long shot, and all the pressure in the world on their shoulders and uniforms full of pond water. They are one of the 2 representatives from the SEC. Man, Arkansas, it'll be fascinating to see how this plays out for Dave Van Horn, because, I mean, I saw a lot of people talking about it. Arkansas fans from around the SEC. If there was ever a time for them to actually do it, for them to actually win the whole thing, not just fall 1 foul ball short, not just be a runner-up again, but win the whole thing, it'd be right here. But they will, of course, take on LSU in their first game, bringing the noise, bringing their fans. I guess this does give us our top – the 2 SEC teams give us our top 2 competitors for the Jello Shot Challenge coming up as we begin play this weekend. LSU, of course, going to bring lots and lots and lots to Omaha. Not quite as much pop as they usually have, but still 100-plus home runs. That's how things work in the SEC. Really solid on the mound is what LSU is going to bring to Omaha. Oregon State, a team without a conference, a team without a home. Their wonky-ass schedule. They played 19 games at home before the postseason began. They played Oregon on they played them for a weekend or a half a weekend and then played them again on a Tuesday. Their schedule was ridiculous. They played Iowa in Des Moines randomly at the end of the season. They took any games that they could get, and yet they made it to the postseason, hosted a regional and a super regional, and made it through. Like I said, 19 games at home before the postseason began, which is amazing. UCLA hasn't been here since winning it all in 2013. They bring their beautiful uniforms, pitching, defense, Rock Chalowski. They're out of the Big Ten. That's right. The Big Ten Conference gets a team in the College World Series, although it doesn't really feel like it much. I saw Nebraska fans talking about Nebraska fans put a hurt on Oregon, and there's talk about Nebraska ruining Oregon. Well, Nebraska took down UCLA in the Big Ten final, and it's UCLA after all that who hosts a regional and a super regional and makes it all the way to the College World Series. So they will return to Omaha for the second time in a couple of weeks, coming up later this week. And those are our 7, and we're down to Duke and Murray State today. A couple notes, of course, from the great Rob Anderson, who was full of these yesterday. First of all, no team from the state of Texas. 0 teams from the state of Texas. But UTSA's lost, and it was UTSA who was the last team standing out of Texas, which is amazing. No teams out of the state of Texas for the first time since 2013. We've had one of TCU, Texas, or one or more of TCU, Texas, Texas A&M, and Texas Tech for every year since then. TCU has made it 5 times. Texas has made it 4. Texas A&M 3. Texas Tech 4 since 2013. This is the first College World Series without a team from the state of Texas since the year 2013. And the stat that everybody was wondering about and that Rob was all over yesterday, with Florida State out, it's the first time since it will be, even with the Duke Murray State result today, first time since 1957 that the College World Series will not have a team making back-to-back appearances. There is an entirely new field this year for the first time since 1957. We saw a few of last year's participants bow out in the super regionals, a few more in the regionals, and then a couple not even make the postseason, like Texas A&M and Virginia, who have undergone some changes. Both of those this offseason, they didn't even make the postseason. They were here in Omaha last year, so we're set up for a weird one. As we talked about last week, I don't know that this is necessarily the best thing for Omaha, but as we did talk about last year after the season, when everybody was all up in arms, it's like, well, this is where college sports are going. Here we go. It's going to be the big dogs who take everything. And there's no doubt there is absolutely a separation between the SEC and some of the ACC and the rest of college baseball. And yeah, we're going to see that even punctuated even more with the revenue sharing going into place and being made, the House settlement being made official over this weekend. There is a separation. There is no doubt about it. The way that those teams are supported is just a little bit different because they have access and get the best players in the country. And you'll see that represented like in the first round of the MLB draft, the first 2 rounds of the MLB draft here in just a couple of weeks. But as we always talk about with the postseason, the one thing that I wanted to make clear after last year is that sometimes baseball is weird. And just because you have a great regular season and just because you spend more money than anybody else and just because you have, a couple top draft picks on your roster does not guarantee that you'll make your way through a super regional, and through Omaha to be able to win the national championship or even get to Omaha. There is a randomness in college baseball. There is a randomness in baseball when you get to the postseason because you take in Major League Baseball, 162 game season, and then you boil it down to a 3-game series, and anything could happen. And then in college baseball, you have a 50-plus game regular season with totally uneven grounds that teams are standing upon as far as how they're funded and how they're supported and things like that, the crowds that are going to these games. But then you get into